Hi, kids and cadets. Welcome back to Tommy Time. Thanks for coming out. Happy Sunday. Hope you're having a good day. So yesterday I went to Northwest Bradenton, Florida and dropped off the Toro recycler with the Quantum that I fixed. Remember that machine? The guy I thought maybe had put Tektron in the tank, and then he had a primer bulb system for an automatic choke. So he actually gave me the one that came off of that machine because I sent it home with the primer bulb thing. He put it in a box in his garage with some other parts. So this is the machine I got in exchange for doing the work on his recycler. So he showed me a Honda with the bag and an older Craftsman self-propelled. He said the Craftsman self-propelled wouldn't engage, so I went over to the machine, pulled the cable down, took all the slack out of the cable, and he had the cover off because he was trying to mess around with it. So I engaged the handle and it was bringing all the slack out of the belt. So I said, well, that's your problem. So all he's got to do is mess with carburation. So I told him what the deal was, that I found that something was in the fuel. I says, what do you add for an additive? He said, Berryman's. So you add Berryman's for fuel injector cleaning. I think it's kind of like similar to Seafoam. And then Wally World has their own knockoff brand. So I told him to get rid of the gas out of those other two mowers and maybe he could get them running. He also had a Craftsman 13.5 horsepower rider. So he wanted me to take them all in exchange for two mowers and a snapper rider. So I just don't have time for that. I gotta fix stuff. So let's look at this thing. He wheeled it from out of the backyard, and in that box of parts he had the cover for it and the filter. So it's been sitting outside without a filter, and you can see all the dirt build up. Needs another filter. Okay, the carb kind of looks clean on the outside. So let's mess around with this thing, see why it wasn't working. He said he put an inline fuel shut off. He said, I run the fuel out of them when I store them. I says, yeah, that's fine, but you're just putting the bad contaminated fuel in and you're running it into the carburetor after it's been sitting a while. Okay, so let's check the oil. This is the Kohler engine, so you gotta wipe it clean, just put it on the top without screwing it in. So guys showed up about an hour ago before it started raining. I've been inside waiting for the rain to stop. We had a quick shower, so I kind of covered up a mower that's on my work lift table. I'm working on a Quantum machine. So I've got like 4 mowers left. Yesterday was kind of a slow day. I got a lot of messages. Like I said, I went to Bradenton, come home, got a lot of messages. but nobody come out. Okay, we're almost at the top. So we'll discuss. A guy showed up. He looked kind of familiar, but I wasn't sure. He pulled up. So I'll discuss what he dropped off. Okay, I got my turkey baster. I've got somewhat of a dry container. I just want to see what's in this thing. Okay, quite a bit of fuel on it. I'd say like 80% full. Let me get a good sample right down at the bottom. Yeah, I can smell that berry mint, same as the other Toro. We're getting that funky smell. I says, how much did you add? He said, oh, just a pour into each tank. It must have been a generous pour, but I can smell it. I'm wondering if that crap attracts moisture, that berry mints or sea foam. So we got oil. We're going to try starting with Happy Juice if it doesn't kick off. I don't see any water rolling around. It just has that funny smell. Okay, let's do year of this thing and model number. It's a 2015 Kohler 675 149cc. The Toro number is the 20371. The serial 315122513. So the spec number for the engine's PH-XT 675-2087. Serial number for the engine 4425416-348. So I could tell this cable needs to be adjusted for the self-propel. Looks like the safety brake cable works. So I didn't even pull this thing over. This thing may have a locked up engine. I kind of peeked at the blade. Blade's pretty used. As dull as a handle on a butter knife. Okay, let me get the carb cleaner. Kind of looking at the plug. He's put a new plug on it. Trying to read the name, maybe Autolite. It's got a Huawei carb, so it's not an aftermarket carb. Let's juice it. Nitro. I'm hoping for a quick and easy. If he's got that funky fuel, I just gotta do a flush out here. Okay, fired off. A little knocky. Let's turn it over. And look at the underside. What do you say? Yeah, it'll be time for another blade. It's sandblasted on the lift. Tread doesn't look bad. Bearings seem to be fine. I don't have any up and down movement. If they were all worn out, I'd be able to move the axle up and down, which causes the plastic teeth in the wheels to round out. Belt's not bad. So we're looking at Carb Clean, another blade. I just had some come in by FedEx last week. Some Toro blades. So I think I can make some money on this. I've gotten quite a few Toro bags in the off season from the scrappers, so I'll throw a bag on this. I've been getting $2.50 for the Toros with the bag, and people aren't complaining. And this one doesn't have any rust through, so this would be a good candidate for $2.50. So, and an oil change. The oil was more than half-life, so I'm going to keep going with a full service with this thing. Grease up the wheels. This one will turn out nice. Adjust the traction control cable. So, speaking of cables, like I said, guy showed up. He says, "You fix mowers?" He kind of looked familiar, and I says, "No, I just sell." He says, "Well, you fixed mine last year. I live a couple streets over." And I recognized him then when he said that. He says, "Mine won't start," which is this one. He says, "You already fixed it for me last year." I don't remember what I did. Maybe a carb clean. I'm not sure. It's got the OEM carb on it, Mark Kohler. Not sure what I did for him. But anyway, I saw that the safety brake cable was dead. Gave it a little tug and it's broken in half. So the cable number on this is 112-8818. 112-8818. So I've got a replacement here. It's not marked because, like I said before, the Chinese don't mark them like the OEMs, but it is the right cable. I lined it up and it is the right length. 20371 on the model. Looks like a 2012. Kohler powered. So he said, "Oh, I got a still blower with the, I need a primer bulb for it." So I says, "Well, when you come back, I'll bring out 3 bulbs. It could be 3 different sizes, so I rounded those up. And then he says, oh, I've been using my son's mower. I had to go to his house because this wasn't working. I got his mower. I've been using his mower. So he showed up a couple hours later with a still blower. I handed him the bulb. He says, oh, aren't you going to put it on? I says, no, I'm not working on it. I'll give you the bulb. It's real easy. Take off this cover. 2 screws hold the bulb down. I got enough junk to do. And so then he had this on the truck. He says, oh, this is my son's. He says, how do you secure this? I says, well, just with a zippy tie. I can feel the nipple there. The nipple isn't broken. Or a hose clamp. So we got it down. He says, do whatever you need to do. So when he comes back, I'm giving him this Troyville back. I got enough of my own projects. I'm not sure what's wrong with it. Maybe it needs a carb clean. I'm not going to get bogged down with this thing. I got my own stuff to fix. Like I said, I only got 4 of my own to sell. I'll get this Toro running for him. He can let his son use it if he has to. People got to start bringing me this stuff in the off season, not in the middle of mowing season when people are buying them left and right. You know what I mean? So that's the story. He's going to have to fix his own blower. I'm going to get this ready for him. I told him to call me in the afternoon. It'd probably be ready. So this is going out the door. I'm going to mess with this Toro right now. What I have is for a self-propelled is Troy built with a Briggs on it. I think a 725 with a bag. So people have been messaging me for Toro recyclers. I've been telling them I got a Troy built, and they say no, we're looking for a Toro. So Toro must have a good name for itself. So this is going to be a quick seller. If I rectify this and advertise, it's going to go out the door. I got another filter. I bought a 10-pack of the baby filters. So I'm going to mess with this. Maybe I'll do a video on this Toro 675. I'm curious about the plug because it's new. He must have thought he had a spark issue, but it was really that Berryman's that did him in. Let me pull that plug. Just curious, since he got a carb kit for the other machine, maybe this is a China plug, but the other one was a quantum, so the plug would be different. He wouldn't have been able to put it on this thing. Okay, none of the sockets I grabbed. Okay, we'll give it one more try. So it's hotter than heck. Like I said, it rained. Now all that moisture on the street, the grass is starting to evaporate. It's hotter than heck. That's the disadvantage. It kind of cools off when it's raining, but when it stops, the sun comes back out, and then it goes back to scorching hot again. So the rain's only temporary relief. Okay, it was an auto light. 4164. Doesn't look too old. It's been on for a while. It's got some rust nicks. Okay. What I may do is take this quantum off of my lift table. I was nearly complete on this. I was over here putting the carb on and the backing plate. I've got my blue painter's tape there. This is a prime and go unit. So I was real close on this one. So I'm going to finish it up and then put the Kohler up here. This is a Troy built 675. 2005. I think we maybe did a video on this. Possibly. It's just a standard pusher. I don't have a bag, but probably could come up with a bag. It's the 11 Alpha Dash Alpha 23 November 011. Troy built. Beautiful Cleveland, Ohio. Okay, so that's all I got for you. Production's happening. We're making it happen. Tip your waitress and wait staff. Appreciate you coming out. Just a little update. I think this is going to be fine. For the work I did on the Quantum, I got this one, which I can make a crap load of money. Clucky's all in. He's saying no clucking around. We're going to cash in on this big red turd. Adios, amigos.